Have you ever wanted to bring a breathtaking day scene to life in your MMD videos? Ever wondered how to seamlessly integrate God rays and optical flares like this? In this tutorial, we're delving into Ray MMD's Time of Day Skybox to unveil the secrets behind achieving these spectacular effects. By the end of this video, you'll be well equipped to create day scenes that truly captivates your audience.
Requirements.
Before we begin setting up Ray MMD, make sure you have Miku Miku Effects or MME installed in your MMD. If you don't have it, don't worry. We've provided a download link and installation instructions in the description below. You'll also need to download the latest version of Ray MMD. Head over to www.github.com/ray-cast/ray-mmd/releases and download the zip file for version 1.5.2. Once downloaded, extract the contents of the zip file to a folder of your choice. Next, you'll need to download a Ray MMD extension called Optical Flares. Visit www.github.com/miku-miku-shaders/optical-flares. Click on the green button labeled Code, and then select Download Zip. Once the download is finished, extract the contents of the zip file into Ray MMD's extension folder. Additionally, you'll need to download an effect called Diffusion 7. This effect will significantly enhance the rendering of your videos when paired with Ray MMD. Finally, download the model and the 3 stages that we will be using in this tutorial so you can follow along. The download links can also be found in the description below. Now let's get started.
Basic setup.
First, let's make some quick view and lighting adjustments so we can see what we're doing clearly. Go to View and deselect Display Coordinate Axis, Display Ground Shadow, and Transparent Ground Shadow. Next, go to Light Manipulation and set X to 0.5, Y to -0.3, and Z to 0.7. Click Register. Now let's load all the files that we are going to use in order. First, load the Skybox from Ray MMD by going to Model Manipulation, clicking Load, navigating to your Ray MMD folder, opening the Skybox folder, selecting Time of Day, and clicking timeofday.pmx. Second, load the Ray controller by going to your Ray MMD folder again and clicking raycontroller.pmx. Third, click to Camera. Go to Accessory Manipulation, click Load, navigate to your Ray MMD folder, and select Ray.x. Please be patient as it will take a little time to load Ray.x. Next, load the model by going to Model Manipulation, click Load, navigate to your Models folder, and select the PMX file. Lastly, load the stage that we are going to use by following the same steps that you did to load the model. Click to Camera to see how it looks. Now that we've loaded all the files that we need, let's configure Ray MMD in MME. Click on MME located in the upper right corner, then select Effect Mapping. On the Main tab, double-click the model. Navigate to your Ray MMD folder. Click the Main folder and select main.fx. Do the same step and apply main.fx to the stage as well. Now let's configure the Skybox. First, go to the ENV Light Map tab, double-click on the Skybox, then navigate to your Ray MMD folder, click on the Skybox folder, select Time of Day, and click timeoflighting.fx. Next, go to the Material Map tab, double-click on the Skybox, go to Ray MMD's Materials folder, and select Material Skybox.fx. Lastly, go to the Fog Map tab, double-click on the Skybox, click on the Skybox folder, select Time of Day, and click Time of Fog with God Ray with Cloudcaster.fx. Click Apply and then OK to save the changes. You have now completed the basic setup for the day scene using Ray MMD. Let's proceed to the next step by changing the Skybox and Ray controller parameters to make it look better.
Read Skybox and Ray controller.
First, let's go to the Model Manipulation section and select the Time of Day controller. Second, In the facial manipulation section, change sun radiance plus to 0.6. Click register. Third, change the value of sun turbidity plus to 0.4, then click on register. Fourth, change the value of ozone mass plus to 0.4, then click on register. Fifth, change the value of May phase plus to 0.8 and May turbidity plus to 0.6. These two parameters determine how strongly the God rays will be displayed on the screen. Be sure to click register for each change. Sixth, change the value of ENV diff light plus to 0.4 and ENV spec light plus to 0.2. These two parameters determine the overall brightness of the environment lighting. Lastly, change the value of cloud plus to 0.4 and cloud speed plus to 0.6. Now let's make some changes in the ray controller. Go to the model manipulation section and select the ray controller. Next, in the facial manipulation section, change sunlight plus to 0.1, then click on register. Then go to bloom threshold plus and change it to 0.4. Click register. After that, go to saturation plus and change it to 0.4. Click register. Finally, change the value of gamma minus and temperature plus to 0.2. Click register for each change. Click to camera to see how it looks. We now have a day scene, but we can make it look even better.
For materials and effects.
Now let's make the scene look amazing by adding diffusion. Go to Accessory Manipulation, click on Load, then navigate to the folder where you put your effects. Go to Diffusion 7 folder and select diffusion.x. Next, let's position the highlights of the model's eye. Go to Model Manipulation and select the model. In the facial manipulation, set null underscore 290 to 1, then click register. Lastly, let's make some changes to the material of the model so the scene will look even better. If you want a more detailed explanation on how to change the texture of the model, you can check my basic Ray MMD tutorial. Link is in the description below. Now go to MME, click Effect Mapping, and in the Material Map tab, right-click the model and select Subset Extract. For the highlights of the eyes to glow, double-click Subset 5, then go to the Emissive folder, then the Fixed Color X1 folder, and select Material Albedo X1.fx. Now let's make the hair shiny. Select Subset 11, hold the Control key on your keyboard and select Subset 12. Right-click, then click Set Effect. Go to the Materials folder, then on the Editor folder, double-click on the Standard folder, and select Material Editor 1.fx. Make sure to click Apply when everything is done. Now let's load the controller for the texture of the hair. Go to Model Manipulation and click Load. Go to Ray MMD's Materials folder, then on the Editor folder, double-click on the Standard folder, and select Material Editor 1.pmx. In the facial manipulation, change the value of specular V plus to 1 and smoothness to 0.8. Click register for each changes. Looking good, isn't it? On the next part, we will discuss about how to use God rays and optical flares in your MMD video.
5. God rays and optical flares.
In this section, we will focus on using God rays and optical flares to enhance your day scene, especially in an indoor setting. First, let's replace the current stage with an indoor setting. Go to the Model Manipulation section, select the current stage, and then click on Delete. Next, go to Model Manipulation again, click Load. Navigate to your Stage folder, double-click on the Tarot Stage folder and select Stage.pmx. After that, open MME and apply the main.fx to the new stage, just as you did with the first stage that we deleted. Click Apply and then OK to save the changes. Click to Camera to see how it looks. Now let's position the sun behind the model. In the Light Manipulation section, adjust the values of the X, Y, and Z axes. The Z axis determines whether the sun is in front of or behind the model. Set its value to 1 to place it at the farthest back of the model. The X-axis determines whether the sun is positioned to the left or right side of the scene. Set its value to 0 to place it in the middle of the scene. The y-axis determines the time of day. As you can see, moving the value to the right makes the sun go down, darkening the scene. Change the value of the y-axis to minus 0.35. Click Register to save the changes. You can now observe the God rays emitting from the back of the model. These God rays are also visible in open stages, but they become more pronounced when there are more light obstacles, as seen in an indoor room setting. To enhance the visual experience further, let's incorporate optical flares. Go to Accessory Manipulation, click Load, go to your Ray MMD's extension folder, then to the Optical Flares master folder, double-click on the Sun Flare Hexagonal Bokeh 1 folder, and select Optical Flares by Sun.X. As you move the camera's position, you will now notice the presence of optical flares, contributing to a heightened sense of realism within the scene. If you find the scene too dark, you can increase the values of ENV Diff Light Plus and ENV Spec Light Plus within the time of day controller. If the scene remains dark to your preference, you can put additional lighting and then hide it to prevent it from being visible on the screen. To do that, go to Model Manipulation, click Load, navigate to Ray MMD's lighting folder, and select Spotlight IES.pmx. In the Bone Place section, adjust the Y value to 17 and the Z value to -22. This will position the lighting in front of the model. Next, head to the Facial Manipulation section and modify the values of R+, G+, B+, and Intensity Plus to 0.2. Adjust the Angle Plus to 1 as well. Remember to click Register for each change. To make the light source invisible from the scene, go to your MME, click on Effect Mapping, and uncheck the Spotlight IES in your Main and Material Map tab. Click Apply to save the changes. As you can observe, this adjustment has slightly brightened the model. Continue this process by adding more lighting across the stage until you achieve your desired result. You have now learned how to implement God rays and optical flares into your day scene. But wait, there's more. In the last section, I'll be discussing a common problem that occurs when using indoor scenes and how to fix it.
6. Unwanted shadows.
Before we proceed, let's replace the current stage with a new one. Go to the Model Manipulation section, select the current stage, and click Delete. Next, in the Model Manipulation section, click Load. Navigate to your Stage folder. Double-click the Stage 19 folder and select Stage.pmx. Finally, open MME and apply Main.fx to the new stage. Click Apply and then OK to save the changes. Let's also reset the light's position. In the Light Manipulation section, set the values of X to 0.5, Y to -0.3, and Z to 0.7. Click Register to save the changes. In some scenes, we need the sun to be at a specific angle, but when we position it, unwanted shadows are cast onto the model. As you can see, there are shadows being cast by the light bulbs and the ceiling above. To fix this, go to MME, click Effect Mapping, and in the Material Map tab, right-click the stage and select Subset Extract. First, let's remove the shadow cast by the ceiling. Uncheck and then recheck Subset 1 to confirm. To remove its shadow, uncheck Subset 1 in all the tabs after the Material Map tab. You can still see the ceiling material, but it's no longer casting shadows. Now let's eliminate the remaining shadows coming from the light bulbs. Select Subset 3, Subset 4, Subset 7, and Subset 8, and uncheck them in all the tabs after the Material Map tab, just as we did for the ceiling. Finally, click Apply and then OK to save the changes. The stage is now free from unwanted shadows. Do you enjoy tutorials like this? I highly recommend to watch my other tutorials because I share many of my MMD techniques on these videos that can level up your skills more. Please consider to like and comment to help the tutorials reach more people. Thank you and see you again in the next tutorial. Bye.